Welcome to the Political Orphans. My name is Nicolagan, and I am your in-house conservative. To my left, Rob Ambrose, our token lefty, and together we review what's in the news. Our goal is simple. We want to show you that it's possible for a lefty and a righty to get along. And if we don't agree, you know what we do? We have conversations like normal human beings, because never forget, common sense has no political affiliations. What's going on, brother?
What's happening, brother? How you doing today?
I'm good, man. Slept like shit, but yet somehow, you know, I fast for 20 hours a day, 7 days a week normally.
Really?
And yeah, I
Like
only eat
every
one.
day? Just
I eat one meal a day. I've been fasting for like 7, 8 years or something like that. Sometimes I
Jesus.
do 3 days, 4 days, 5 days without eating at all. And the days that I feel like shit or I haven't slept well, I put cream in my coffee. Like just that, because I don't do it often. Just that kind of puts a smile on my face. So I've been drinking
It's like a
coffee.
special treat.
Oh yeah, because I've been drinking black coffee for 10 years now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's so what that's wild.
Mm.
So when do you eat? Just like one meal at supper or
Yeah. Yeah, I normally am gonna start eating around, it depends. Sometimes, bro, it's 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night just because the schedule. But like tonight, I'll probably come back from the gym around 5, 6. I'll eat. Sometimes though, but I do eat for like 2 hours, 3 hours. I can easily eat 4,000 calories in
Oh,
one
okay,
sitting.
so it's just one setting. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, I don't eat less than anybody else. I just eat
I see.
more at once. I just have a
Ye-
massive stomach here.
Good
What's going
morning,
on,
Prairie.
Prairie?
How's it going? Beautiful
I,
day.
you know,
What's the weather like there in
it,
Montreal?
it's fucking shit, bro. It's cold.
Oh, is
It's
it?
for
Nice.
it's for no. It's because I came back from Alabama. We were already hitting 26 degrees Celsius, and I'm at like minus something. Now, right now it's 4,
Ooh.
but I walked the dog at like -4 this morning. I'm just
Ooh. Yeah.
fuck this shit. I'm already tired of this shit. Already been here for a week.
Yeah, it's
Already
funny.
tired.
Everyone thinks Canadians love the cold. No, we don't. We fucking
Fuck
hate it.
no.
No, we hate it.
But man, we haven't spent a winter here in 3 years, right? My last winter in Canada was 2022. Yeah, 2022.
Really?
Oh, not even. No, not even 2021. So it's literally been 3 years
What are you
since we
down in
last.
Alabama every last three winters?
No, we were Arizona the first
Okay.
one, Alabama twice. Yeah.
Like, does Alabama in the winter is it like it's pretty cold? Like it does get some snow, is it?
Normally, not really. Like he'll
Okay.
get 1 inch sometime in February.
Yeah.
Man, by mid March, you're in the 20s already. Like they don't have a real winter. Imagine like a fall. Their winter is more like our fall. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly how I'd describe it.
But Arizona is probably like just hot all year round, right?
Oh, bro, back in Arizona, I still had my motorcycle. I was in the middle of winter. It was hitting 25, 30 degrees. And I was on my motorcycle,
In the
wife beater, going
middle
to
of
the
winter, eh?
gym, like boom, 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 boom. Oh yeah, it was good times, man. I missed that.
Prairie says it's gonna hit double digits here tomorrow. Where's that in Saskatchewan?
Heyo,
Heyo.
heyo.
Yeah, we got it's starting to get that weather. I love this time of year. It's starting to get
But
nice
it's
out.
late. It's a bit late right now, though, because it should be a bit warmer than
You mean
this.
yeah,
But
you mean late in the year to be like it should be warm. Yeah, I guess so. April 10th.
yeah, we should be hitting double digits already. But it
Yeah.
seems that we're not. But hey, it is what it is. It's not gonna last for long. I just don't like the winter, man. As a
I
Canadian,
know.
fuck winter.
Yeah, I
Fuck
hate it.
winter.
I hate
Yep,
it.
I'm right there with you, man.
So
Um,
what do we got on the agenda for today?
I'm happy that Prairie is here because one of the subjects that I want to talk about that I'm not going to announce right now, but I want to talk about came from a conversation that I had with a gentleman by the name of Taylor Betts. Taylor Betts. I don't know if you guys know who that guy is.
Okay. Is he like a podcaster or something?
I would consider him. I'm just going to go look him up right now on the Instagram to make sure that I say what he is properly. but he
Okay.
definitely has one of the biggest. I would argue that he's top 5 biggest podcasts in Canada, if not more.
Oh, really?
Like
Eh?
he, oh
What
yeah,
politics?
yeah, politics, masculinity.
Okay.
He's here you go. He has about, hold on, let me share his page. He's a cool dude. Hey, what's going on, Cheryl? What is going on?
Cheryl, what's happening?
So this is the guide. Just I'll give him creds because it came from a conversation I had with him yesterday. But like you can tell, like he has 210,000 followers, but he has more
That's
followers.
hell
He
of a
no no, but his
haircut.
pot. Oh, bro, yeah.
That's
Right now, he has
cool.
the mullet going on. His back of
Love,
the hair is even
gotta love that.
longer. Like,
Yeah,
and
flowing
he has
locks.
like right now you don't see it, but see right here, he has a massive fucking mustache right now. But
um,
like just his podcast page is just under 300,000 followers. Like the
wow.
dude he's had a who's a who
Hmm.
on his podcast. It's a bit
I,
insane
I
actually, the
assume
people
he's
that he's had on there.
conservative.
Yeah. He's a conservative with an in between small C or big C.
Okay.
But like fuck, his platform's like 500,000 followers, give or take, between his podcast and his personal page just on Instagram. Like he's on all other platforms as well. Hey, what's going on, my man? Mimarino, what's going on? Tony G, what's
Marino,
going on?
Tony. Yeah, how's it going? We got the whole band here. How's it going, folks?
The only gay person missing is
Yeah,
Jason.
Jason. Fuck. You better show up.
So what I was going to say is that we had a very interesting conversation because he's somebody that has criticized my post in the past.
Okay.
On
The ones where
Instagram,
you're criticizing Polyev.
Yeah, and actually, it's funny because we talked about it yesterday. I'm definitely more right than he is, but at the same time, I can speak to him the way I speak to you. Like we're capable of having conversations,
Yep.
even if we literally talked about 3 topics that came out from the first 3 minutes. Because he asked me a question, I can't remember exactly what the question is, but he asked me. I made 3 points, and that's all we talked about for about an hour and a half. We deconstructed what I said. He provided his
Just
opinion.
like where on X, or did it was like a phone call or something?
No, it's he did it on Riverside. It's just a different platform than we use,
Okay.
but it's similar to the platform that you and I use for this podcast.
Okay.
He doesn't do it live. Not a lot of people do what we do, bro. So he doesn't do it live, but it was interesting because we talked about politics a lot. That's all we talked about, especially Canadian and American politics, because he talks about it all the time too.
Yeah.
It was very interesting to speak about something that, because he had Maxime Bernier on his podcast too a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
And he mentioned something. He made a very interesting point, and he kind of blew my mind a bit because it's something I'd never considered before. So we'll see in the Canadian election update. I'll talk about it then. And it's a question I have for you because I had never considered it. And I told him yesterday, I'm like, you know what, bro? You're making a good point, because we've spoken about something similar that happened in the US, and he's proposing something else that could happen in Canada. And I like that Prairie is here because I know she's a big PPC supporter. So I'm happy that she's there because I will want her to answer that question later on when we're there.
Cool.
But for right now, because this is something that came out of the conversation I had with him yesterday. Him and I, one thing we definitely agree on is that Canada's facing an existential crisis under Mark Carney. Like if he becomes our elected prime minister, we both agree that this is going to be a massive problem. And he's already looking to immigrate somewhere else. Like he's a business guy. He runs a team of coaches. Like he's a very clever guy, but he's like, bro, I don't want to stay here. If Carney, like I'm already looking, if Carney wins, I don't want to be here. And my wife and I are already on the same page. We already didn't want to be here under Trudeau. So Carney that would probably be the nail in the coffin.
Is the argument like existential crisis because of Carney himself, or more because like the West, like Alberta, Saskatchewan, might actually leave? Like, what's the argument here?
Actually, no, we didn't speak about Alberta. He's from Ontario. So, it's really Alberta people, Albertans that speak about
Okay.
Alberta.
Yep.
Although I should have brought it up. It's just,
Mm.
it's not something I don't live in Alberta. So I don't have that
Yeah.
mindset of always thinking about it. But at the
Yep.
same time, man, I was telling that to Jason Lavigne a couple of days ago that if Carney wins, I'd probably move to Alberta. Like Alberta's the only place I would stay in Canada,
Yeah.
just because they're really pushing the separation argument right now. And I get them. I get it. I fully understand where they're coming from. But to answer your question, no, it did not come from what could happen, the consequences of
Just
Alberta.
Mark Carney himself.
Like, to me, it's very simple. The way I see Carney is he's here to finish the job Justin Trudeau started. Justin Trudeau has been bringing us to our knees. The GDP picture, like you've been talking about the
Mhm.
GDP you've mentioned it many times,
Yep.
and it's something that to me is very clear. And I know what the potential, why this is happening. This is where I can go and I can put this on. But in my head, Carney is a globalist. He's here to make Canada part of the global economy. Like, he wants us to be under the WEF. He wants us to be under the WHO. He is looking for us to become part of a one world government. Like, that is what he wants. I don't want that. Personally, I don't want that at all. At the same time, do I believe that Pierre Poilievre's a savior? Because I was telling him yesterday, like, I don't believe Trump's a savior. He's not my savior, at least. Neither is Pierre Poilievre. Neither is Max Bernier. Neither could Carney be. Carney B. Oh, that's funny. I did not, I did not say that.
Carney
Happy
B.
accident.
Was wet ass
Bro,
pussy.
that is a great nickname. I'm going to try to remember this. I'm going
Carney
to start
B.
calling him Carney B.
Carney
Wow, I
B.
never got that one before. That's funny. Carney B.
That is
I'm
funny.
going to try to keep that one. That was such an accident. I love it. But, I look at Pierre Poilievre, for example, and that's where Betts and I agreed on yesterday. He would just cut the blood flow. Like, he would, like, we're, in my head, Canada's on the side of the street. We're bleeding out.
Yep.
Carney is the hobo that comes in and finishes the job by raping you.
Yeah.
And
empties your pockets and then
and ass rapes you.
just for
And
fun.
just because he can.
Yeah.
And Pierre Poilievre is gonna kind of put a tourniquet on.
He'd be like, "Oh, guys, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Leave him
Stop
alone."
it.
Yeah,
Stop it. Stop it. But he would cut the bleed out. But I don't think he's going to move the needle whatsoever, right? I don't think he's going to be a great leader, because I don't think he is. But would he would stop the bleeding, as Kaylor Betts said it, and I agree with him. So this is where the question comes in.
So is he a Poilievre guy?
He's a Poilievre guy, but very similar to me. He's not as outspoken as I am criticizing Poilievre.
Mm-hmm.
That definitely not, but he's open to speaking to people. Like, he reached out to Poilievre's team because he still has like 500K followers in Canada, which is insane. Like, he definitely has one of the biggest profiles / podcasts in Canada, no questions about it.
Yep.
So, and he interviews people internationally. Like, some of the people that he had on his shows are fucking amazing. But he reached out to Poilievre. His team never got back to him. He reached out to Maxime Bernier's team, and they reached back. He had him on, and he even praised him, saying, man, he did not want to know the questions. Just like similar to us. Like, he just showed up and he's like, we can talk about whatever.
Yeah, talk about whatever
you guys want. Like, I don't care. So
that ain't gonna be Poilievre.
Yeah, no, and that's the difference between him and I, right? And that comes back to what you were asking earlier. The post I had made was about remember when Pierre Poilievre, when I think it was on CTV, it was either CTV or CBC, and the guy asked him about how many genders are there, and Pierre Poilievre circled around the question. He didn't answer directly, just saying,
kind of hemmed and hawed, and I don't know of any more than two.
Exactly, and I thought that's bullshit. That's the political answer right there. He did not have the balls to just look at the CTV guy and say, there's two, and if I'm elected prime minister, no such thing as an X or whatever the fuck other gender on your passport. You were born a man, you're a fucking man. You can dress up as a woman if you want. your choice. But he had the chance to just stand up and be a fucking man by answering the question. Kaler saw it more like, oh, this was brilliant because he kind of threw it back in his face. I'm
He
like,
thought it
I'm
was
tired of I'm tired of politicians politicking. That's what bothers the hell out of me. And this is what I can appreciate of a guy like Trump. If somebody would ask him that question, he'd fucking answer your question saying, there's a man, there's a woman, and the rest are mentally ill. There you go. Problem solved. So
yeah.
So it's really just, we conservatives are having conversations as to, is he the best person to, he is not the Trump of Canada, as in Trump is moving the needle. And I'm not saying like political style or the way he speaks. That's not what I mean. The effect that Trump has on the US is needed. What he's doing right now, you needed somebody to show up and fuck shit up. You needed that.
Yep,
You're not seeing that in Canada. None of the party leaders are going to be that
destructive. Poilievre's not going to do that. No, he's not going to be a fuck shit upper the way that Trump is, for sure.
No, but that's what we need, right? I think we can agree on this, that we need somebody to show up and to change the status quo. And that's not Pierre Poilievre. That's not Carney. And I'm sorry, Prairie, as much as I like Maxime Bernier, I think his French accent is preventing him from being that guy. I don't think he has.
It's pretty strong. It's pretty strong. I mean, Jean Chrétien was pretty strong, so I guess you could say, but he was a liberal, so maybe that
that's possible. But that's possible. But I think we've become a lot more immigrant based.
Yeah.
Since Chrétien, and that plays a role. I can tell you that Alberta don't want a fucking Frenchie like me representing them, and I don't have the accent that Maxime Bernier has, right?
No, so Max is strong.
I'm a French guy, but I speak more English than I do French, and I would rival pretty much any English individual with their vocabulary. So, it's Maxime has no problem saying, that I agree with. See that I completely agree with you, Perry. He has and he would. And to his credit, and that's where Kaler Betts and I both agreed, is Maxime Bernier, not only does he have no problems saying this, he will go on podcasts, long-form content, and he has no problems doing that either, which is where Kaler Betts and I agreed on when it comes to Maxime, that we align way more with Maxime than we would do a Pierre Poilievre, but he's not moving the needle. Like Maxime is not having the impact I actually thought he would have. Personally, I thought he would be more recognized than what he is right now.
Who's this, Maxime?
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised that, because you'll see I found the new polls from CTV News, and I'm kind of surprised they're saying that.
I think a lot of conservatives,
they're losing right now. Like not Pierre Poilievre, but Maxime Bernier is lost.
Yeah, I think a lot of conservatives were swayed by the vote splitting argument, especially when they saw Poilievre dropped so hard in the polls, man. Like a month ago, he had like a 70% chance of winning, and now it's flipped. Now I think it's, last I checked, it's like 80% for Carney. Now that's if we believe the polls. I'm not sure that we do.
The polls that I found, though, in my opinion, are probably pretty damn close.
Okay.
Like, to me, that I would probably agree, because, again, of the type of people that answer the polls. So I would believe that to me is closer to reality, not the reality of the real voting intention, but as far as polls go, I think they're as good as they get, that one. And I'm surprised because CTV is very left-leaning, right?
Yep.
I like what she's saying there.
Prairie says there will be a new leader. Honestly, I think
check the comment before. Look at the comment before this.
Prairie says, yes, Nico, lots don't like his accent, but I think this will be his last kick at the can. And there will be a new leader for the PPC. I think you're right. I think if I were in the PPC leadership, I'd probably want to find an Albertan. I think that's where you're going to really tap into that anger. Because I think a lot of people in Alberta don't trust, even conservatives don't trust the Conservative Party. And so, Prairie says
that would be an interesting. I'm a fan. I like Jason.
He's an Albertan.
Yeah, I like Jason.
He's a smart guy.
But I don't believe, though, unlike Prairie, I don't know that, and I'm not talking against Jason Lavigne. I'm just talking about like the Albertan portion. You have to speak French. You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You cannot become Prime Minister of Canada and not speak French.
Well, people
That
are
you can't.
criticizing Carney for it, and I mean, he doesn't have good French, but he at least has
No.
something.
But that's my point. You don't need to be a Jean Chrétien or a Justin Trudeau, but like Stephen Harper could speak French.
Yeah.
Like you
Yep.
need to be able to have an interaction in French,
Yes.
even if you have a thick English accent. You know, an English person could have the accent that Maxime Bernier has in English, and it would be okay.
Yeah.
It's the other way around. When 90% of your speeches or 95% of your speeches are going to be in English, you don't want to sound like him, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's funny as a Anglophone, you don't really think of like there being an English accent in other languages, but of course there would be, right? Just like it's really obvious, like for you as a native francophone to hear like someone who's an English speaker, like you can tell right away.
Of course.
Does it sound
and
kind
I've
of like
traveled all over the place,
clunky
right?
and awkward a little bit?
No, it sounds a bit gayer in Canada. No, but you have to remember, man, I spent almost the last 3 years down south, right? But they have a massive accent down there too. They don't hear it, but they do have that redneck Alabama, Texas accent. Like, goddamn, they have an accent down there. Like, there's a few guys I can't fucking understand what they're saying. No, it's not a little bit of anything. It's a lot of everything. Some of the expressions, bro, are just like
hilarious, eh?
What the fuck are you saying?
Yeah,
I don't understand you. I know you're talking to me. You're looking right at me, but I don't know what you're saying.
I've seen like content, like just clips where it's just like some Southern guy just saying like one liner after one liner after one liner, and it's pretty funny. Super colorful language.
It just sounds clean. You know, like I think that if you look at, let's say, Ohio.
Yeah.
I know a few people that are from Ohio. They have the more traditional English outside of the UK. It's like not only are they like somewhere in the middle in North America, but their English is more commercialized. The one you hear on the news, the one you hear on the radio, the one you see on, it's just clean. Like you can't really tell where they're from, but you know they're not from down south, and you know they're not from Canada.
Did you ever see the movie Fargo?
Of course. Who hasn't?
Yeah, so Fargo? I just saw Fargo for the first time on the weekend, and that accent.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know. It's such a good movie.
That's a classic, bro.
That accent, that like I guess the North Dakota accent. Yeah, exactly. They sound like special needs. Everybody, it's terrible.
Well, you know that's how Canadians sound.
Yeah, I know.
Like to me in Fargo, like the main character, the detective / sheriff / whatever the hell, the police officer.
Yeah.
Hey. She sounds like a Canadian. That to me is the Canadian accent right there. The boot. Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Her husband sounds like a retard too. Like it's the same thing. But to me, a lot of Canadians do sound like that because I've traveled so much.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that down south they don't sound retarded, because man, I got some friends down there. I'm like, bro, come on. Like, what the fuck are you saying? But I like it though. I like accents. Like I'm a fan of the Canadian accent. I'm a fan of all the English accents. I like it. I like diversity. I like the accents.
Yeah, it's cool. Cheryl says, what I have issue with is that Max isn't talking about winning. He's talking about gaining more percentage of the vote. Yeah, I mean, that's a good argument. I think he's trying to be a little realistic, but it is, even if he knows he can't win, I think you want to act like you can, if only to energize your base. Like it's a little tough if someone doesn't know whether to vote Conservative or PPC, and then they hear Max being like, "Yeah, we'll get 5% of the vote instead of 3% or whatever." Like no one's thinking. I think it would be better if he just sort of acted as if he could win, even if he knows he probably can't. Prairie says, I've seen some interviews with new PPC candidates, some real intelligent, well-rounded. I mean, the PPC as a new party, they're not really locked into anything. They have a lot of flexibility in that they can go in a lot of different directions. One thing I found really interesting from that interview with Max was so many people from the NDP and Green Party even that were coming over. So I think it certainly gives them a lot of flexibility that, the Liberal Party and the Conservative Party, everything's baked in. They can't really make any major changes.
One of the things that Killer Bet said yesterday that kind of not threw me off, but man, I hope it's not true. And it was just his opinion, right?
Yep.
But he's like, because I asked him, I'm like, okay, so if you, like me, believe that a Pierre Poilievre is not going to change, he's not going to move the needle, he's really just there to stop the bleeding. Do you think that having a Pierre Poilievre that's going to try to swing things back a bit closer to the middle, although he's not a libertarian, but move it a bit more to the right of the left spectrum, is that going to give a space, a bigger space or a bigger opportunity for a guy like Maxime Bernier 4 years from now to come in and kind of continue moving it to the right or moving it somewhere more in the middle? And he's like, no, I don't think so. I think Maxime Bernier needs a liberal government to continue bleeding in order for him to make more sense, to be more appealing.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It's like in Canada, we still haven't learned, and the average person needs to be hurting even more to be ready for Maxime Bernier. Now, is that what Maxime Bernier is hoping for or not? I don't know. I'm not going to pronounce myself on what the fuck he's thinking. I'm not in his head, but I thought he made an interesting point. That
is an interesting point. It's kind of,
we should have him on. Like, we should have him on the show. He's just I know he would come. Like, he absolutely loves recording content with me. He's just a very common sense type of guy. And he's a bright guy. Like, he's made some very clever statement in our podcast yesterday. And I'm like, bro, you're thinking about this. It's not just about content creation. Like, the guy worries about these things on a personal level, and it shows when he talks. It really shows.
I'd love to have him on. You should see if he wants to jump on for an episode.
You know what? I'll reach out to him right now, because I think
that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. Yeah. Melissa says Fargo is my favorite movie. I can't believe it took me so long to watch it. Like, it was really cool. I really, really liked it. This was the original one, the 96 one.
Yeah, that's the one you want. Yeah, with Fertucci or whatever the fuck his name is. I love that guy. Like, he was in
the blonde guy that was kind of a bit.
No. The guy that's with him, the guy that ends up being
Buscemi, Steve Buscemi.
I've always been.
How do you do,
that
fellow
guy.
Kids?
Do you remember him in what was the movie with Nicolas Cage where they escape?
Yes, Con Air.
And Con Air.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He plays a psychopath. Like, he plays a pedophile. Bro.
He's like, you're like, okay.
I love him in that.
This guy is a pedophile. Yeah, that was a great.
That's what he looks like. That's what he looks like. And Nicolas Cage with his long hair. Like,
oh yeah, you know, yeah. Buscemi walked into the audition before he opened his mouth. They're like, "You're hired.
Done.
You got the part."
Done. Yep.
Prairie says, "Oh, I think Max knows he won't win PM, but we definitely need to have some PPC seats. That would be a huge win for the PPC if they even get any."
That I agree with her 100%, and I think that's what Max should be doing right now.
Yeah,
if I was in his
everything on a couple ridings that he thinks 100%
win. Because I tend to agree. I think it was Prairie that was saying that it's probably his last kick to the can, and I agree. I don't think he's going to be around. And from what I've heard internally, it's not easy on Max to be doing what he's doing, and he's not the youngest guy either, right? Let's not lie to each other here.
No.
I think, and I don't know, Prairie, I'd be curious to know your opinion about this, but I think he might be a bit out of touch with the younger voters. I don't know that he connects with them, and it's not just him. Carney's the same. Poilievre somehow is somewhat working, but I don't think they have the aura of a Donald Trump being able to reach those younger voters. I think we need a younger person that's more aware. That's why when she says Jason Lavigne, I'm like, man, that wouldn't be dumb. That's not a dumb idea, because the guy is very good in front of a camera, very intelligent, and he knows how to work the crowd. Like, he knows how to speak to people, and he understands technology. So to me, damn, that's a good point. That would be interesting, though.
I actually think in that scenario, I think his accent is a big part of that. I think that's a big part of holding him back from connect, because in order to connect, you have to have a certain oratory style. You have to really speak to people, and it's not his fault. I'm sure in French he could probably do it, but in English, I think it's too much of the accent's too thick to really do those sort of, like, you can hear what he's saying and be like, yes, that's a good point, but it doesn't. You know how we've talked about Obama being a great orator, right? It doesn't. The way some people just have that ability. They speak words and it's just smooth and it feels nice to your ear. I think the strong accent in that scenario might hold them back there. And I think with Poilievre, he just, he seems pretty young. Seems like he's 45, but he's pretty, he seems like a young-ish guy. Certainly Carney seems like an older guy. Same as Max, older type dude. I think there's a sense of, if the guy, if he's young, and it's funny because like Donald Trump's old as fuck, but he's kind of got a young energy.
His son, son Barron is the one that told him to go. If you do some research, supposedly that Barron's the one that said, "Bro, you need to go." I'm sure he didn't say "bro." Obviously, it's his father.
Yeah,
hey, bro.
Yeah,
but
bro.
He's the one that sold the idea to do long form content and how it was important. Because I don't know if you know, but his son is brilliant, right? Barron is a weird kid. You look at him, he's very weird, but he's been privileged left, right, and center, right? He's been surrounded by some fucking intelligent people. And you can tell just the way he stands, he is brilliant. Like, he seems like a very smart guy. But I don't think, but again, I don't
super
think
tall
that.
Too,
oh, yeah, he's like 6'9", 6'8". Like,
is he that tall? Fuck.
Yeah, bro.
That's
he's
wild.
Like, hold on.
I thought it was like
before
6'2"
I talk out
or
of my
something.
ass. No. Barron. No. Hold on. Barron Trump.
Wow.
Height. No. I'm pretty sure it's something stupid like 6'8" or 6'9".
That's fucking ridiculous.
He is 2 meters 1 in feet. So that is at least 6. Yeah, he's 6'7". Yeah, he's stupid tall. yeah. And he weighs like 135 pounds. Like, he's a tall fucking stick.
That's a tall drink of water there for sure. We fuck, another wild day on the markets. It's I'm looking at these. Dow's down 4%. Still about half of the rally yesterday, but of course that's going to happen. There's just so much volatility built into it. That's definitely going to happen. But it's still like butthole clenching time if you've got a big your retirement portfolio.
Oh, you're fine. You're going to be fine. Like, again, I made a post about this, and I looked at the market over the past year, and right now it's higher than it was a year ago. So under Biden, the market right now is doing better than a year ago, although Trump is putting tariffs all over the place. So even by doing that, he was able to be higher. And if you looked at before he really started talking about tariffs, he was a lot higher than a year ago under Biden. It's really just when because around December, January, it was super high. It started crashing when he started really pushing the tariff idea. And it's okay. Like, you knew this was going to happen. But the fact that he can talk about tariffs, he can put tariffs on everybody, and the market is still doing better than it was a year ago. Imagine now that he has more than 70 countries agreeing to sit down and talk, now that he has Canada ready to sit down and talk, now that he's really putting China in its place, saying, oh yeah, 84%. Okay, well, fuck you. Here's 125, and I delete everybody else. Nobody has tariffs except you, China. Game on, bitch. And the market is just responding like that. Imagine when they do end up making a deal, how the market is just gonna soar. Like, again, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't listen to me because I'm full of shit. But if this is as bad as it gets right now, it's still better than it was a year ago. Like, we have to be honest here.
Yeah, and I think I'm definitely glad to see Trump kind of pivoting a little bit with the strategy as opposed to taking on the entire world. He seems to be bringing America's allies back in the fold, and then everyone will go after China, I presume.
But that was the goal the whole time.
Yeah.
Bro. That was I told you, how many times have I said this, that he's going to make something so fucking ridiculous. He's going to say the stupidest fucking thing, and then he brings it down. His target was China the whole way. The whole time. But he could directly just go, no tariffs for anybody except China. Now you're declaring war on China directly. Now he looks brilliant. We'll see.
But yeah, I mean, something had to happen with China. They were just taking advantage of the system too much. And you know, people have been talking for decades about China, what they're doing. And so, yeah, you know, the fact that he's like we said yesterday, you know, at least he's doing something, and then he's taking a big risk, and we'll you know, he's either going to reap the rewards or sort of pay the piper. But either way, you kind of got to respect someone who's putting their chips in the middle.
Yep. So let me show. I got a video about this.
Yep.
I found a good video that kind of explains what's going on, and then I want to see. Well, here are the things I wanted to talk about today. Obviously, I want to talk about the 90-day pause for the tariffs. I want to talk about China's response to it, because they did elevate their tariff immediately to 125%.
Yep.
I wanted to talk about Canada's response, because it looks like Canada's finally going to sit down with the U.S. You wanted to bring inside
insider trading angle of this story. Yeah, so we'll get into that after we get the first
and
bit out.
I found a very funny video of Timmy Tampon making fun of Elon Musk again, and that was from yesterday. And obviously, we have an election update for the Canadian election. We have our daily update. And if we have time, I got a story just for you. I think this one, you're going to get a kick out of it.
Cool.
It's right in your alley.
Right up my wheelhouse.
Oh, yeah. And I'm very surprised of how it's playing out, but I'm pleasantly surprised in the way it's playing out. I did expect it to work.
Okay.
But you'll see. I don't want to say too much, because I'm going to have to just say what it is. But
save for surprise.
It's a surprise for you, bro.
Love it.
Here is a video I found explaining what's going on with the tariff right now.
Okay.
And then we can talk about it a bit further, because obviously we don't have to.
President Trump dialed down the temperature on tariffs around the world, the trade spat with China heated up, with the president announcing that 125% tariff.
I told him, if you retaliate, we're going to double it. And that's what I did with China, because they did retaliate.
The CEO of Basic Fun, which makes Tonka trucks and Care Bears products, said when the president proposed a 54% tariff rate on China, he knew he would have to raise prices. But now,
you might as well just make it 1,000,000,000%, because we're not shipping anything out of China. Nobody's going to be shipping anything out of China until this gets solved.
He warns what
I know,
happens
right?
now will have impacts months down the line.
If you're stopping production, does this imply that you might not have stuff on the shelves for key holiday season?
Well, there'll likely, in particular with toys, be a shortage of toys this Christmas. I mean, even a short-term disruption will upset the flow of goods. But we still have time.
It's not just toys. Americans are surrounded by Chinese-made products, which could get more expensive. A lot of the cheap goods sold at places like Walmart and Amazon are made in China.
Walking down the block, you'll see it. So many American brands selling products coming from China. Like Nike, where 18% of their footwear and 16% of their apparel are made there. Even this glasses company, which assembles some of its glasses in the United States, uses materials and manufactures in China.
Some auto parts already more expensive.
There was one part that was around $280, and then 2 days later, the cost went up to like $328, and of course it was an overseas part that was manufactured in China.
President Trump also closed a loophole that allowed cheap goods from companies like Temu and Shein to avoid tariffs, so those prices also likely to go up. The concern that even as the world negotiates, China and the U.S., the two largest economies, are drifting apart.
The harm that's being caused is really catastrophic. And please make a deal quickly. There's a deal to be done, and let's go back to business as usual.
All right, Brian joins us in studio. So, Brian, the big question tonight, when should consumers expect those prices to go up?
Tom, the president.
So I really wanted to show the end where the one of the guys that run Maytel, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, because I'm pretty sure they're the ones
Yep.
doing the Care Bears. And you know what's
Yeah, that's
funny? I didn't think about that when I chose this video, but my wife's a big fan of Care Bears.
Care Bears.
She still has some collectibles
Oh, yeah.
around here. It's the gayest thing ever.
Remember the
man.
show? Did you watch it growing up?
We talked about it just a few days ago. Like,
Yeah.
popping
Fucking-
through the chest.
Yeah, beastly and shrieky.
But the point I was trying to make, though, is that even the business guy, see how he's very smart in the way he answered the question. He's not going after Trump. He's not going after China. He's just saying, can we make a deal and go back to business? They all know that there's a deal that needs to be made in order to we just like in Canada, we cannot become self-reliant overnight. It's something that's going to take a few years. Same thing for the US. They cannot erase China from the equation all at once. It's not going to happen. So you know that all Trump wants is to make a deal that's fair for the US. That's all he wants to do. That's why he's exaggerating the way that he's doing right now, and the way he removed the tariffs yesterday, just to me, just proves what I've been saying, that that's all he wants. He just wants a fucking deal. And before you do, because I know you're an iPhone user, I also found that yesterday. I thought it would be funny, and just the title explains it. But the title says Apple. I knew you'd respond. So basically, for the people listening to this, what the news is saying is that Apple iPhones price could soar up to $3,500 if manufacturing shifts to the US. And this is, for my Canadian friend, this is US. So you're talking about $5,000 Canadian for a fucking iPhone cell
that's
phone.
Fucking wild, man. That is wild.
But that just tells you, man, how much they're taking advantage of child labor, right? Because at the end of the day, that's the main.
If you're
We're not
able
talking
to,
about changing the components. It's really who puts them together.
Those little hands are great for great for putting together those tiny components. Before we move on, I'm going to show something. So this is actually something I saw on X. It's Jesse Waters, and the reason I want to show is this clip here. I don't know if you recognize this guy, but this is Ross Perot. He's he kind of ran an independent run for, I believe, the Reform Party in '92. But the reason I'm going to play it is because basically he's talking about everything that China's doing now. He was talking about it back in '92. But before there, just this actual tweet here that explains it, I think, is a really good explainer of Waters. I was just reading as I was about to, so I'll just skim over it. So he's talking about the tariffs. This is from yesterday, I believe. He says, China, and we talked about this yesterday, China had a plan: dump cheap goods into the rest of the world, use the money to build the military, pass the U.S. as the world's top superpower. But if China, and we talked about this yesterday, how China has, they have a multi-decade plan and they've been executing on it. And that's exactly what Waters is referring to here. But if China can't dump cheap goods here, and we're the world's biggest market, they have nowhere else to sell. And that sort of goes to when we were talking with Jason
about yesterday.
Who needs who more, right? America is the biggest market. And if America is off the table, no one can pick up that slack. They can't sell to Europe because they don't have the consumer power, and they can't sell to themselves because their birth rates have cratered. Once China can't sell, they have to lay off their workers. The communists don't want a billion angry, unemployed Japanese or Chinese. That's how regimes get toppled. But we must let Xi Jinping lose face gracefully. And we talked about that yesterday. So I think this is actually a pretty good tweet here by Waters. I think he's got a good assessment of the situation. So
you know what's interesting about that before you play it is that we're pretty fucking bang on.
Yeah,
like we are. That's because that's exactly what we were saying. We're basically bang on, and we're just two dudes with critical thinking that do a lot of research. But we do a lot of research
with
right?
an internet connection. Yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff I had to dig into it. I didn't know a whole lot. Yeah,
but you have to. That's why I know so much shit about everything, is because I fucking do 4 or 5 hours of research every fucking day.
Yeah, eventually you'll actually get a pretty broad base of knowledge. So this is a 10-minute clip. We're just going to watch the first minute or two because I think it's only the beginning that's kind of relevant. But this is Ross Perot talking about exactly the things that people are talking about today. So it's not like this is a new thing.
Remember that giant sucking sound? We have got to stop sending jobs overseas. To those of you in the audience who are business people, pretty simple. If you're paying $12, $13, $14 an hour for factory workers, and you can move your factory south of the border, pay $1 an hour for labor, have no health care, that's the most expensive single element in making a car, have no environmental controls, no pollution controls, and no retirement, and you don't care about anything but making money, there will be a giant sucking sound going south.
They called Ross Perot crazy, but after 30 years, they call him right.
But yeah, just showing that like these aren't new issues. You know, people have been talking about this for a very long time. 92, what's that? 30 years ago? 30, yeah,
33 years ago.
Yeah. So, you know, that's why, you know, my take is I think at least Trump is doing something, right? Someone has to do something. The further we kick this can down the road, we basically kicked it as far as we can go. At this point, there's nowhere else to kick. And you know, someone had to do something. And I don't think Kamala would have. So no.
Again, that's basically what I was saying earlier. You know, when I was comparing Trump to whatever candidates that we have in Canada, he needed to do what he's doing right now is something that should have been done 20 years ago, but nobody had the balls to do it. He's coming in swinging dick out, just like, fuck you, we're going to take care of it. But he's really approaching it from a business sense. Like he's approaching it. That's why I like that video I showed on Monday, because he really, it's from his realtor or real estate development. How did he make money? Bought houses at a low interest, renovated them, increased the value, refinanced it, extracted the money, bought something else. That's what I know. Guys that have 80, 100 houses, and that's all they did. They've been doing it for a very long time, and that's all they do. They have doors upon doors upon doors because they use the first one, they buy another, they extract, they renovate, they extract, they renovate, they extract. So what he did is nothing new, but this is what seems to be happening right now. He has the power. He now, as the president, he has the power to literally change interest rates. It's insane when you think about it. Like he has the power to fuck with the world economy, and he has the balls to do it. This is what's beautiful about what he's doing right now. He knows his power, and he's like, fuck you. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to force you to negotiate. It's clever. It's very smart what he's doing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's got, exactly. Like he's got, he's got huge balls. I mean, put it that way. He could have just played it safe and, you know, sat on it for a while, maybe did a move in the third or fourth year, but he's putting it all in right away. And I guess if he feels like you can't wait anymore, then I mean, I guess that's a smart play.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more. It's definitely ballsy. Nobody can argue that, right?
No doubt.
Do you have any other videos to show about this?
Yeah. So, about the. Let me see here. Actually, no, just to talk. No video, but just to talk talk about the European Union has also paused their tariffs for 90 days. So that's a good sign. Yep. Yeah, the retaliatory tariffs. So that's a good sign. It at least it's I suspect a deal will get done there, and that's good. You don't want America and you're like, obviously there's some tension there now, but they're still, all part of the West. And so I think, I like to see Trump focusing mostly on China. I'm curious about the, the video you have about Carney willing to negotiate with Trump. Cause I'd like to see more of that too. I'd like to see, I'd like to see those moves happen. But I think that's it for the tariff story. What are we pivoting to?
I want to talk about Carney because he hasn't made a video about it yet, like not him himself.
It's just new.
No, but I found what's their name? Fox talked about it. So I want to start by they basically said exactly what I've been saying for a month now. It's just I thought it was funny because again, I'm just a dude that likes to do a lot of research.
Yeah.
And when I have guys that have massive teams that make millions of dollars every year and they basically end up to the same fucking conclusion that I have, it just goes to show that critical thinking is everything. If you have just that want to know more and the will to spend the time to do it, doesn't matter that you have $1 million team behind you. You can find the same fucking information as they're finding. So I wanted to show this. This is the only post that he's made up to now. He hasn't made a video about it. I don't see him doing it because I think that would show that he's crumbling if he would do that. So I don't see him doing it. Maybe I'm wrong. But he posted this yesterday. Let me make this bigger. And basically all he's saying is that the pause on reciprocal tariffs announced by President Trump is a welcome reprieve from the global economy for the global economy. As President Trump and I have agreed, the US President and the Canadian Prime Minister will commence negotiation on a new economic and security relationship immediately following the federal election, which I found that to be interesting because it's the first. Remember last time when he kind of talked about having negotiations, like he made it sound like he would be the prime minister.
Yeah.
And this post makes it sound like he won't. See, he did not say this is, I think, I want to believe that there are lots. Yeah, because he's basically saying
and the
that
Canadian Prime Minister.
Yep, as President Trump and I agreed, the US President and the Canadian Prime Minister will commence negotiation on a new economic and security relationship immediately following the federal election. If that was me writing this, I would have said that Trump and I will start negotiation after I'm elected prime minister again. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just thought the wording was interesting, but he also goes on to say that Canada must also continue to deepen its relationship with trading partners that share our values, including the free and open exchange of goods, services, and ideas. I agree with the goods and services as idea. I know that comes from climate change, so he can go suck one on that one. And of course, he goes that I'm working hard to earn that responsibility to protect our country through this crisis and to build Canada strong.
Yeah.
Screw you on that one, but at least he's admitting that he needs to have a negotiation.
Come to the table.
We can no longer pump his mini chess.
Yeah.
Thinking he has leverage because he got none. And Trump is proving that he doesn't give a fuck about Carney. So I was happy about that.
Trump hasn't mentioned him at all whatsoever.
No, and the other day we said that, like, Trump. No, but Trump is like the type of guy that's like, oh, fuck you. You're not going to win your election because of me. I don't remember who said it, but I know we've spoke about this. And I just fucking think when I saw that, I'm like, oh, there you go, Doug Ford. This is Doug Ford licking his wound. Like, oh, shit. I'm getting a beating here, and I'm starting to look like an idiot because all I keep talking about is the tariffs, and Trump is like, no more tariff for 90 days. That brings you past the election. So he's fucked. He really needs to run a campaign now. So I guarantee you, Carney is like, motherfucker, you fuck. Like, he's not happy about this. He's not happy about this.
He's angry for sure. And when we get into the election coverage, I've got he did a speech there last night, and I've got a few clips from it.
Nice.
Just to sort of talk. It'll show us what he is running on, and it's not overly impressive, and also not entirely surprising. Pretty much a lot of the stuff you would expect.
You wanted me to play? Let me play the Fox one.
Yeah,
because again, when I saw that this morning, and this is brand new, like it was posted this morning. I was laughing my ass off because I'm like, wow, that's exactly what I've been saying for months now. And now the Americans are calling Carney out as in, sit down, motherfucker.
Yeah, move along, son.
Canada has now requested the World Trade Organization take a look at the measures that the United States is taking. They say that it breaks with the obligations under various provisions of the General Agreement of Tariffs and Trade Act of 1994.
It doesn't surprise you that a guy like Carney
to the WTO
with the
it's gonna start
WEF
a
is
60-day
complaining.
conversation where they
He's
say,
a
here's what we
globalist,
think
right?
is the problem. The United States is going to come back. If they can't get an agreement at the end of 60 days, then you go to the next phase, which is sort of this arbitration. But here's the thing about Canada, okay? They've got an election coming up. And the guy who's now the prime minister looked like he was going to lose big time. And then he came roaring back because he could play the anti-U.S., anti-tariff card that he's been playing.
Card.
And it's worked for him. So I don't expect Canada, until they have an election and maybe elect a new prime minister, I don't know. I don't expect them to do anything but try to look like they're playing hardball, because for their leader, that's the politically good thing, even if for the economy in Canada, that's not the good thing.
Well, and one of the things he ran on after Justin Trudeau went down to Mar-a-Lago and came back, and the president, of course, made the joke of, hey, why doesn't Canada become the 51st state? The new guy wanted to run far left of that, especially on the issue of our relationship with them.
Yeah, and this was just played right into that strategy for him. But look, Canada might be good for his politics. I don't know if it's good for your economy, so think hard before you make him the prime minister officially.
I'm like, amen, brother. I was listening to this morning. I'm like, fuck yeah, brother, because he's right. Like, they're absolutely right. And man, that woman sound like, damn, she sounds mean. I don't know who that woman is. I've never seen her before, but
she's
damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Memorino says,
Yep.
Carney B is a B. That's funny.
Oh, see? Carney. Yeah, Carney. Carney B is a B. Oh, that is such a great name.
My 360 world, right back at you. Screw you. I don't know if you're talking to us or agreeing with us. I believe it's the first time that you've commented here, so welcome to the show. Yeah, maybe clarify. Is that screw us, or are you sort of agreeing? It's Carney. It's
Whatever.
Mark Carney. Mark Carney's burner account.
Yeah. Exactly. Very nice. But you know what?
Yeah, all good. If you know, we get thick skin.
I'm used to it, bro. So if it's at me,
either way, yeah.
All good. I appreciate the comment. Appreciate the comment. So
no, go ahead.
No, but that was it. Like, when it comes to Carney, because he hasn't pressed the issue a lot more. I'm happy that you checked out his speech from yesterday, because obviously he must have said something about it.
Yeah, he said a couple things. Should we get into the insider trading bit first, and then we'll do the Canadian election?
That is the next thing on my list here. So yes, 100% go for it, bro.
Perfect. All right. So it's just kind of funny because okay, so I'll play a clip from your favorite Congresswoman.
Scott Jennings.
No.
Nancy Pelosi. Oh no.
No. So she's talking about the right. It seems like it's the big thing on the left right now is to go on about the insider trading that happened. Just basically saying Trump is getting his buddies rich with insider trading because of what he tweeted. So
Trump seems to be doing, from tweeting people to buy stock and then later announcing his development on taxes. If people are pissed about insider trading here at the House, look at what's happening at the White House right now and with the Republican Party.
Do you think he knew what he was doing when he sent out that message about stocks before he made the announcement?
It sure seemed like he did. I don't think that it was a coincidence. I don't think that Trump just coincidentally said buy stocks and then shortly later made an announcement that dramatically inflated and dramatically raised a lot of these asset prices. And, I've heard murmurings on the floor that there may have been people that knew that this was coming. And I'm very interested in seeing some of the stock disclosures that come out when those reports are due. And I'm very interested in what members of Congress have been buying and trading stocks in the last 24 hours prior to this tariff announcement. Trump's.
So, and before, you can chime in there if you want. I was just going to show one more thing before I
Okay. Is it about AOC?
It's more about Yeah, give your piece about AOC, and then I'll show the other thing I was going to show.
Do you remember this? Hold on. Let that one load.
One of
Like,
the
do you
things
remember
that we need to do is to talk to people directly.
Yes.
Also, guess what? There need to be.
So this, for context, this was posted on YouTube 2 months ago. It's Jon Stewart, obviously, and AOC. And I played this video on this show saying that I agreed with her. But her little comment from yesterday, wow, woman, you forgot your own words, didn't you? So hold on. This is what she said 2 months ago.
One of the things that we need to do is to talk to people directly. Also, guess what? There need to be Democrats who walk the walk and talk the talk. There is an insane amount of hypocrisy, and the hypocrisy is what gets exploited to use the cynicism. And wherever there's a hypocritical window, for example, I think one of the most biggest examples of this is insider trading in Congress. Like,
dude, I don't know if I like, do I give snaps? I don't know what the kids do anymore, but like, dude,
it
is
like
so crazy.
It's so crazy. It's crazy. I mean, like, and this is the thing. It's like people think that everyday people are stupid. I'm like,
you know, this, before you continue, this is what I find funny about this, because she got in trouble and like from her own party.
Yeah.
After that went, that people in her party are like, shut the fuck up. What the fuck are you doing? Because she didn't call politicians. She called her own party hypocrites.
Yeah.
And now her tune is like, did you see what Trump did with the Republicans? Hold on, woman. This is not a political. This is a
it shouldn't be
political prop.
I mean, we agree with her point. We both agree with her point. I actually
showed her video saying that for once I agreed with the bartender.
Yeah.
Like I did. I agree with her. But now you can tell she probably got.
Yeah. Now
she got smacked a bit.
It's a
now it's Trump. Now it's Trump's fault for insider trade. Hey, okay, cool.
Yeah. So again, as I was saying, we both agree with her. I think both of us would like to see all stock trading banned for members of Congress, right? Because it's just so much potential for abuse. And I'm just gonna, before I comment specifically on what she said yesterday, I'm just gonna show this chart here. This is the options market. This is just the day yesterday, 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12, 13. And the actual stock market shot up around here. But over here, you see massive buying in the call market just before it shot up. So there is some insider trading going on. And I'm all for an investigation. And I think, it should be nonpartisan. Anyone who's doing it should be held accountable. However, what she's talking about, what Donald Trump did, that's not insider trading. He tweeted to the entire world, it would be a good time to buy stocks. The whole point of insider trading is that
you don't say it out loud.
Well, it's inside knowledge that only a few select people have it. If everybody has the same knowledge and it's done hours before, by definition, it cannot be insider trading. So, insider trading certainly happened just by looking at that chart of the options market.
When did his tweet come out?
The tweet came out hours before. So,
could it be inside trader, or people saw it and they're like, oh
yeah, I mean,
let's
that's
buy
possible
some
too. That's possible too. But either way,
it's so easy to deny this.
Yeah,
if it indeed came. Now, if it came 2 hours after the shot, after all the buys,
there's definitely enough plausible deniability that I doubt anyone will get caught. Yeah. But the president, cheerleading the economy in general, saying buy stocks, that's not insider trading. If everybody has the ability to take advantage of it, that's not insider trading. And it is a bit funny.
To me, is just Trump being Trump.
Yeah,
Trump is like, hey guys, I'm gonna boost the economy. Buy now.
Yeah, and it is pretty rich to hear the Democrats or AOC going on about this while Nancy Pelosi's sitting over there with a $250 million net worth, right? Like, we both agree with her that Congress people trading stocks is a problem and should just be banned. But it's not a partisan issue. And if you want to make it a partisan issue, the worst offenders are on the other side. So, maybe clean your house out a little bit first.
Like you were saying 2 months ago, but she got clapped for it. Somebody Nancy Pelosi probably came shut the fuck up. My 360 World, I think he agrees, like he was talking to Carney, not you and I.
Yeah, yes.
At least that's how I choose to see the message.
Yes.
This is how I choose to interpret that message.
Yes,
but
always the
glad
most.
to have you on, brother. My
Yeah,
360 again. You might be a woman, but thanks for the comment. Glad to have you on. Remember ever seeing you before, but whoopity doo.
Always nice to have new faces.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Else for this?
No, I think that's it for me. I think that's it for the insider trading. Yeah, there's a clip I have of Adam Schiff just being a fucking knob, we're gonna get to the bottom of it, and Adam Schiff.
Is it about insider?
Yeah. Do you want me to play it?
Oh, of course I do. If it's funny, I can always use a laugh.
Well, it's Adam Schiff doing Adam Schiff things. Let's see here.
With this market,
fuck that guy.
With this market fluctuation, are you concerned that there could be members of the White House that are benefiting from it?
Absolutely. I'm writing to the White House to demand who knew in advance that the president was going to once again flip-flop on tariffs.
Well, everybody knew because he tweeted it hours before.
There is just all too much opportunity for people in the White House and the administration to be insider trading, and you can't put it past them for a minute. So we're going to try to find out.
There's a good chance they'll just ignore you, though, right? Should there be some other independent investigation into this?
Well, I think Congress should do an investigation into this, but we're going to demand answers from the administration. I think you're right. They're likely to stonewall, particularly if they've been engaged in corrupt insider trading. But they won't be able to hide it for good. I mean, we know who's in the administration. We can look at eventually what people are buying and selling. This will come out. But an administration that has their own meme coins and is already engaged in self-interested dealing when Elon is doging agents.
Oh, here we go.
His own businesses. In that kind of corrupt climate, you have to assume the worst, and we're going to try to find out.
You know what the funniest thing? As soon as you started the video, I'm like, is that a Trump tie? Did you actually? Are you copying? Go back.
Solid red, yeah, solid red.
He's literally dressed just like Trump does every day.
Yeah, he is.
Blue suit, white shirt, red tie. I'm like, hey, you're a Trump supporter now. Good. But as much as he's gonna get people to smack him, the same people that smack AOC,
they don't want an investigation.
Nobody wants that investigation because they're all fucking doing it. They're all full of shit.
And I'm all for, if you want to, I think it should be an investigation.
But
it's not a partisan thing. You're gonna get a lot of Dems in that net if you cast a wide net there.
Yeah, a shit ton of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's not gonna happen, right?
No.
We all know it's not gonna fucking happen. But at the same time, if they want to do it, I'll be reporting on it and I'll be talking about it because I definitely want to see it. This would be some great stuff because you could see a lot of people going to prison. I don't see it happening, but a man can wish, right? It's okay to have dreams.
Imagine
I have a dream.
Yeah, I just see Nancy Pelosi get charged with the insider trading.
Oh,
you mean she's not the best financial advisor in the entire world?
I don't believe it. I still think she's a god.
Yeah,
she is a god of trading.
Yeah, she is an investment genius.
I don't care what anybody says. She is a genius. Warren Buffett should learn from her.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
She is the queen.
Yeah, but she'll write a book. Step 1, get elected to Congress. Step 2, become Speaker of the House. Step 3,
profit.
Yeah.
One of the things that we talk about all the time is the left needs to learn. You like that? One of the things we always talk about is the left needs to wake the fuck up. Like the same thing Jason says, like they need to wake up and kind of understand that their house is in shambles. Like they
Yes.
need to have a guy like Featherman, for example, step forward and probably start cleaning house and removing all those bartenders and old women that shouldn't be there. And Timmy Tampon is one of them, right? He's doing such a disservice to the Democrat Party. And so yesterday he was somewhere, seems like a university if you judge by the age of the people attending, but he went after Elon Musk and why we need to hate on him. But I just thought the video was just absolutely hilarious. And just look at the way he moves. He keeps on squatting for no reason. It's the weirdest. He is such a weirdo. Like, he is so weird. Such a weird guy. But yeah, here's Timmy Tampon.
Democrats supporting families, supporting the working class, supporting unions. But I think we have to separate and have a message here. It's okay in America to be successful. We should celebrate that when people are successful. What my beef is, once you get successful, don't be a greedy bastard and not pay your taxes. Don't do that. Pay your tax and do that. And let those young men who see this, now I would argue this, we're creating a false narrative from them that everybody is super rich and has Lamborghinis and life is easy, but that's what we're going to have to figure out in our society about social media and all those things. But I don't think we should be the party that demonizes someone because they're able to afford something or they're able to work hard and got something. What we should demonize is people like Elon Musk and those people that do that. And that's different. That's different. I think.
How is it different?
Yeah, how is that different?
Like I saw some numbers earlier. He's paid more than $11 billion in taxes. Like no, but what is he doing wrong? Because you don't like him. That's basically what it is, right? I just found it super. Oh, we need to change. We need to do something inside because what's going on right now, we can't demonize men that want to make money, that want to be successful. We should, but we should
demonize Elon Musk. That's different. I don't know
An
how.
Immigrant, emigrant Elon Musk.
I don't know how. It's funny though. What before he said that, we should demonize Elon Musk. He was like, I don't want to demonize someone just because they're successful. There was no claps. These people want to demonize people just because they're successful.
But but this is what I like. Like, hey when I squat like that,
what's
I'm
hilarious?
Serious.
He was being put forward by the Dems as like the new masculinity, right? Come on, man. Like that ain't gonna fly.
Like he doesn't even have a dad bod. Like
no,
he literally has
this granddad bod, grandpa bod.
Grandpa bod.
And it's cool. It's cool. It's not. I'm not shitting on him for being an old man, but like, don't tell me this is the new version of masculinity, and we all have to adhere to that. And because it's just a lot of this nonsense. But like a lot of this, like sort of like the new wave, like feminist theories are like destroyed, traditional masculinity, and then they're giving us these replacements. Like, here, don't you like this? We're like, no, that's not gonna fly. Like, there's no young man who's gonna look at Tim Walz and be like, oh fuck yeah. That's who I want to be.
Like his little squatsies, and this one too. He does it again. Like this is very masculine right here. Hold on. It's his little flexies like that. He keeps.
I mean, I wouldn't be shitting on him if he wasn't being put forward as the ideal masculinity. If he was just an old man being an old man, yeah, whatever. But like, if you're gonna tell me this is the new masculinity, I'm gonna critique that pretty hard.
Why would you critique Mr. Timmy Tampon?
Timmy Tampon. Yeah, that's too.
It is the greatest name ever. Like Carney B.
Who was that? Trump that came up with that?
I don't know who came up with it. I can't remember. I've been using it for at least a year.
A while, eh?
Oh yeah. That's a long because he was trying to put tampons in boys' bathrooms in the school system in Minnesota. So that's where it came from, right? Timmy Tampon.
Yeah,
it just rhymes. It's so good. Like whoever thought about that is very, very good. We have. Oh man, I have time before we jump into our election portion, our update. I have a surprise for you.
Okay, all right.
This is something. It's unfortunate. Like this is it. It's time.
It's a surprise.
So
what is it?
Man, it is the weirdest story. I don't know if you've heard about it, but we've talked about similar stuff before.
Okay.
But this is happening right here in Quebec, and there we go. Quebec man who killed his family denied transfer to women's prison after identifying as female. Did you read this?
Yeah, I think I actually did see this. What's so interesting though is why are they calling him a man? I thought that was the deal with the media, right? If
But
someone
that's the
says
Epoch. That's the Epoch Times, though. Those guys are
yeah.
they're conservative, right?
Okay.
But
I bet you the regular media reporting on this would be like Quebec woman denied access to women's prison. It's like, nah, is it a woman? Is it?
It's Mohammed Al Balouz.
I saw. Is there a picture of this guy?
I'm gonna go grab one right now.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Like, this is what the guy looks like.
Why would he be denied? Like, look at this clown. What the only thing shocking is that they didn't let him. That's what's surprising today in today's society, that the Canadian government or the Quebec government didn't like, yes, ma'am, here you go, because that's what they do for a lot of these people. This is clearly just a dude, right? It's so funny how so many of them identify as women after they get arrested, and so many idiotic prison systems accept it. They say, yes, you are a woman, please go in here. And some of them are then going on to rape women, prisoners, and of course they are. Of course, that's why they're doing it. That's why they're trying to get over there.
But you're absolutely right. You look at the main ones. Like, I saw the story from Epoch Times because I was on their website researching. But if you look at all the main one, Quebecer who killed wife.
Yeah,
Quebec trans woman convicted. Quebecer who kills spouse.
Click on the CBC one. They're actually calling this guy a trans woman. Like, if they use she, her pronouns, I'm throwing my computer out the fucking window here.
Hold
oh
on.
my God, they actually fucking did.
Of course,
a trans woman who was convicted of murdering her partner. Look at the picture they're using. Go just the court drawing. Go up.
Yeah,
that one.
That one here.
My Jesus Christ! Now go back to the actual fucking picture.
Hold
this
on.
is wild, man. Fucking CBC. Yeah, fuck. I'm radicalized. Defund the fucking CBC right the fuck now. Accused of murdering her partner. Shut the fuck up, CBC. I'm defunding you right now. That's my politics. Whoever's defunding the CBC.
But did you hear about the story? Like,
no, I didn't. Let's dig into it.
It's fucked up, man. It's really messed up. But the guy in I think it was 2024. In 2022, he killed his wife. He killed his two boys that were 5 years old and 2 years old. He basically stabbed his wife like 20, 30 times.
Okay.
And so right here,
and he killed his own kids.
He killed his wife, who was 38 at the time, and the couple's sons, 5-year-old and 2-year-old, in the Montreal suburb of Brassard. He then set fire to the family's condominium, according to the court documents. So Al Balouz, who transitioned
while in custody,
asked to be sent to the Joliette Institution for Women northeast of Montreal. So there's a place where they were talking. There we go. During sentencing at the courthouse in Longueuil, Quebec, Superior Court Justice Eric Downs described Al Balouz as sadistic and remorseless. So he had no remorse and he was a sadist. And now he's just like, the evidence shows that the accuser showed no remorse, no empathy. He goes on to say Mohammed Al Balouz is a deeply narcissistic person. That's the
wow.
There you go. The court heard that he stabbed his wife 23 times with 11 of the wounds classified as defensive. So basically, it's probably forearms. Normally, that's what they mean by defensive, like somebody tried to defend.
Yeah.
So, but man, we're talking about a dude that killed his wife, his two sons, 2 and 5 years old, that's been in prison since 2022. And now he transitioned to being a woman during his sentence and is asking to be moved
Oh,
to
Jesus
a
Christ.
female prison, to a woman's prison.
The fact that it was even considered is a scandal. The fact that the CBC reports on this story saying a woman who killed her partner, shut the fuck up. I can't wait for these clowns to be defunded. That's right there. If you're going to take tax dollars and fucking call this obviously male murder a woman, like, fuck you. You can get fucked.
I knew you'd like this story.
No, I'm gonna tweet about it later.
I told you you would. I told you. I knew when I saw this. I'm like, oh, Rob's gonna like that one.
Absolutely.
Can you tag me in it? Because I'll repost it. Tag me in it because I'll definitely repost that. Because this is I'll post about it as in why I want the CBC to be defunded. Like this is the exact fucking reason why. When you're gonna tell me that they are unbiased,
tell me you're neutral. Right there. I know you're biased, and I know where your biases lie, and I know everything I need to know I don't want my tax dollars going to you. You want to inform us on the news, tell us accurate reporting. Okay, let's talk about that. But once you do that, sorry, fuck out. Hit the bricks.
We agree.
Hit the bricks, pal. Nicole says I believe she says she doesn't like Mark Carney. Well, we're actually about to dig into our Canadian election coverage here in a second, so stick around.
But hi, Nicole. I don't think I've ever seen you before.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
What's going on? Happy to join. Thanks for commenting.
Yeah.
A
lot of new people from
actually, and just so you know, Nicole, we no longer refer to Mark Carney as in Mark Carney. He has now become Carney B. That is such a great tongue slip, whatever it's called. I love it. Carney B.
Very Trump-esque.
Oh, fuck off.
Very Trump-esque.
Yeah, well, I guess I have to copy my master. Right?
Yeah, it's your boy.
It's very Trump-esque. You're such an asshole. That's actually a good one. Good for you, bro. That's very witty of you.
We're actually getting a lot of. I'm just checking on the YouTube. We're actually getting a lot of people watching from YouTube today. Nice to see.
And it seems like we have a lot of women following us too.
Yeah, it must be those handsome faces, or maybe that French accent. Yes,
it's the hair. It's 100% the hair.
Yeah.
God damn, you're white.
I know.
Get a fucking tan, why don't you?
I do need one, eh? Right? I need one for sure.
Hey,
oot and a boot.
But you do wear a lot of hats, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's my thing. Carney.
Because that's why your top is you're very
white. Yeah.
The tip is
once it starts getting warmer out, I'll go hatless to get some sun on it. Get some sun on the scalp.
You'll raw dog it.
Oh yeah. Always got to do it.
Be off.
Yeah. She's not liking Carney. Well, stick around for this coverage because you'll probably like it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people here. As much as Rob's a liberal, he is not a fan of Carney either.
I'm not a big fan of Carney. I'm not a big fan of the Liberal Party right now. I think that they need to essentially get their asses kicked before they're going to learn the lessons that they need to learn. Because especially if they win again, they'll have no reason, no incentive to do any better. And I think that's it's sort of like, I think even as a liberal, I think, there's value, long-term value in losing short-term is sort of my take on it. If they win, they have no incentive to do any better, and they've done terrible.
Couldn't agree with you more, man. You want to start?
Yeah.
You got some videos regarding the Canadian election, so we should have some fucking prairie. This needs to stick. Carney be gone.
Carney B.
Carney be off. Is it a joke with? Is there a Cardi B song? Be off.
Wet ass pussy. That's her main one that I know. But all right, let me see.
Oh, there
here.
is a Cardi B worker bee, but I don't know if it's because I'm not cool. I don't listen to Cardi B.
Carney B. I don't either. She annoys the shit out of me.
Oh, I can't stand her either. But yeah, maybe I'm not cool enough to know the song references. It was it was a slip, bro. Like I never meant to say that, but it's awesome. I'm happy I did.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. Okay, so this is so he seemed to do an interview. I got a couple clips all from the same interview. So this one is he's talking about Daniel Smith's concerns about Bill C-69, which I believe is the pipeline bill, right? The anti-pipeline bill.
That sounds right. Let's
just double check right quick.
Yeah, C-69. Yeah, it's part of the Impact Assessment Act and the Canadian Energy Regulator Act.
And I believe it's the law that Quebec used to stop the Canada East bill. So this is
known. So hold on
Yep.
here. Known as the Impact Assessment Act Bill, B69 has been a thorn in the energy sector side since its inception in 2019. The bill requires assessment for environmental, health, social, and economic impact and the right of Indigenous people before a major resource or infrastructure project can get off the ground. Yeah, that is exactly what Quebec is used to.
Yeah, that's how they shut it down. So
And
I
I'm pretty
think
sure they did the same on the BC side where because of the Indigenous people and the salmon, like
Yes,
they did
that's
not
right.
want to impact. So I'm pretty sure that's how they removed the pipeline from hitting the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean. Yep.
Yeah. So now Carney has said he wants to, build out our energy export capacity, which sounds like a nice campaign promise, but you are going to have to tackle Bill C-69 in order to do that. And this reporter here is asking about that.
Welcome to Calgary. Thank you. Rick Bell from Post Media. Premier Smith presented you with a set of demands. I think there were 9. A lot of them have to do with the energy sector, the emissions cap, Bill C-69, tanker ban, and on we go. When are we going to get a response from you on what, how you're going to react to that? Part 1. Okay. And part 2, in front of all these people from Alberta, you talk about fast tracking, nation building projects. Yep. And can you give a commitment to us that you will do everything in your power to get new oil and gas pipelines and new LNG projects included? A real commitment.
Okay,
here.
So first off, Rick, thank you for your question. It is great to be back in Alberta. Hey, I'm from Alberta. You don't need to tell me what Alberta is like. I'm from Alberta. I know this province. Tons of friends here. I got family here. I've known here. I grew it up here. I know. I'll be direct. I'm focused on results. I'm focused on specific projects. I'm focused, and I'm putting in place, as Prime Minister, put in place a process that was very clear. We're going to identify projects of national interest. Any major energy project, virtually any major energy project that comes from this great province is going to pass the boundaries of other provinces, is going to be built on Aboriginal lands. They will need the consent and the support of other provinces, of the Peuple Autochtone, Aboriginal people. If I make one last point, I know you said it was easy. The Smith demands, they wrapped up into, I'm going to spend my time writing letters back and forth. I'm going to put in place things that work. That's what we're focused on. And I'll make a final point, which is we are going to move forward as a country when we come together, federal, provincial, industry, labor, First Nations. That's how we're going to move together. And I think that we have the ability as a Liberal government in order to bring together all Canadians to get things done. Thank you.
So a whole lot of nothing there. And I haven't even watched at this point, we're just kind of like we've said when we started doing this coverage, we mostly just want to show you what they're talking about. Like, it's not like I necessarily have a specific thing to say about every single thing. It's just more or less to make up your own mind. I'm kind of like, once I see it's kind of in the right wheelhouse, I put it for the show. So I'm only really seeing this in entirety for the first time here on the show. Sounded like a whole lot of nothing to me. I thought
you didn't answer the question at all.
No, it didn't answer the question. At the end of the day, what I'm concerned about is I want energy export capacity on both coasts, and I want pipelines to be built. And he says he wants that, and that's a good thing. So as a voter who cares about that, I'm like, okay, I like what I hear. But now you got to tell me how you're going to do it. And he essentially said he's going to leave Bill C-69 in place. He said you're going to have to work within Bill C-69. But as we all know, essentially you cannot build pipelines if Bill C-69 is in place, because all it takes is one province or one, First Nations band that isn't on board, and they get a veto, and you're just not going to get it done. So he's really talking out of his ass a little bit here. Oh, I want to get pipelines done. Okay, sure you do. But are you willing to do the things that you need to do to get them done? Oh, no, of course not. So, I didn't like that at all.
Oh shit, that's interesting.
What's that?
Hold on. Can I show something?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I spent a lot of time in Toronto. Like I
Yep.
spent 4 or 5 years in Toronto. I used to fight in Toronto. I used to live right outside of Oakville, which is connected to Mississauga. Like they're literally at the boundary of each other. And now that I'm just looking at Pierre Poliev's page, and he actually posted a video with a guy that I know. He probably doesn't
Really?
like me anymore because of what I talk about, but yeah, I trained with this guy.
Really?
Hold on, I'll
Let's
yeah,
see.
that's just very interesting. He put some weight on though, bruh. God
Like
damn.
good weight or
No, no.
It's
Like,
supposed to be so funny if he's watching this.
oh,
Then,
bro, I would love to have him on the show. I'd love to have him on, but I don't see him ever doing it because they don't seem to be doing those type of things here. But it's because Pierre was in Burlington yesterday.
Yeah.
And Burlington being right next to where Ron's from. But here is, hold on, I think I got it here. It's just I find it interesting. I haven't looked at the video at all. It's just I know this guy, so I'm like, I wonder what he has to say, because he was a police officer. Like he was. I'll give a small introduction as to who this guy is.
Okay.
He is a police officer. Like he was a police officer, and
Toronto,
he lives.
Toronto police.
Yeah, around Toronto. And he is let me see if I have a better. Oh, that's the only one. That's weird. They long-term police officer in Canada, first conservative candidate for Oakville, real Ron Schneiser, saw firsthand why we need to repeal the liberal catch and release law to bring home safe street. And that I couldn't agree with them more. Like I despise being soft on criminals, but yeah, the guy is he's a cool dude. Like I known him for years when we were training, but goddamn,
Yep.
bro, if you're listening to this, you gotta go on a diet again, bro. Like what the fuck are you doing? This is I met him through martial art. We're all lean, right? When you train long enough. I don't remember him fighting. I don't think he fought. I might be mistaken.
He just trained.
Yeah, he just used to train. But I wanted to approach him. It's funny we see this video. I'm gonna reach out to him because I wanted to approach him, but let's see. But let's listen to what he has to say, because I think we can both agree on this, that we need to be harder on criminals, right? Like we
Yep,
need
I
to
agree.
definitely
Oh, yeah.
catch and release crap. I don't agree with that.
Ron is running for us in Oakville, but he's a Oakville
Oh,
East, but
he's
he's a
running for the
long-time
party.
police officer,
Yep.
including
He's
for
conservative
Peel.
candidate. Yep.
And tell me what you've seen from catch and release under Liberal Bill C-75.
If I were to explain to you and have you live the life of an average police officer just over the last 6 years, ever since Bill C-75 came in 2019, it would keep you up for decades. And it's terrible. We have families who have lost their loved ones, their kids in their own household from fentanyl overdoses, and police officers and first responders have to tell the family. We have repeat violent offenders committing murders, carjackings, home invasions, and when we catch them, we have to tell these innocent Canadian victims, good people with their family, their loved ones in their house, that the person who did this was on bail. And we're trying everything we can do to keep this person in custody, but this Liberal government has always led them out. That heartbreak was the reason why I got involved with Pierre Poilievre. I had been lobbying to government as an independent police officer to say, please, bring back common sense. And out of all of the politicians I had met, Years
Well
ago, I
spoken.
met with Pierre Poilievre. He
I was
the
thinking
only
exactly
politician
that.
to ever
Yeah.
ask me, how do we fix it?
Damn, he's well spoken.
Yep, really.
And Ron, I'm happy to say that we will fix it. A Canada First Conservative government will repeal catch and release bail and end C-75.
That to me is a good idea. That right there, I can agree with that. Stop that catch and release crap, and be hard on.
Just
be
the
hard
other
on
day,
criminals.
there was a story. Someone, stabbed someone. I don't know, out in BC or something, and they were on bail for stabbing someone else. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy when you think about it. I'm trying to find, because if I remember correctly, Ron used to be not just a police officer, like he was something else. I think he was their
Like
union
SWAT or
leader.
something? Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah, that would
like
make sense. If he was a union leader, then
more a
he
more
would get in.
political,
Yeah.
because the way he speaks, in my opinion, he's better spoken than Pierre Poilievre.
Union
Like,
leaders are politicians. Absolutely, they are.
of course. So
Absolutely.
that's why I'm going through his profile right now to try to see.
I'll take a few of these comments here while you do that.
Yeah, go for it.
Prairie
Because he's
says,
just a well-spoken individual. Like I'm very impressed with his speaking skills. Like, good for you, Ron.
yeah, that's really cool. Prairie says, you zoom out on his face, talking about Carney. His disdain is obvious. Yeah, he does kind of have that. He just kind of comes off like he's arrogant. Kind of, you can tell he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. And that's always a bit obnoxious trait, even if you are, and I don't think he necessarily is, but he's a sharp guy, no doubt. But it does kind of rubs people the wrong way, I think. He's got he's definitely got that trait, like a punchable face, he's really
his teeth bother the shit out of me, man.
Yeah, you think with all the money he could get that fixed. Nicole says things that work for himself, and I assume she means like he wants the things that works for himself and puts Canadians under the rug. It's one thing that's interesting. I feel like I don't really know the guy at all. He's been campaigning now for a couple weeks, and nothing he says really makes it feel like you get any sense of who he is. Just like, a lot of it's just canned responses. Tony G says, remember the band Carney Me Bad? I want to tax you up. A reference to, of course, Color Me Bad, and what was it? I want to love you up or something, feel you up, something.
I want to fill you up, Jesus.
Feel you up.
That's right up Carney's alley right there.
J. Edward, a new commenter, so nice to see you here. He says Trump is a scam artist, and the title of your video is defending the pervert. There's a good chance he could be a scam artist. A lot of his products are pretty scammy. One thing that we decided, or at least I decided, as a liberal, when we started doing the show, is I'm just going to forget everything I know about the guy, and I'm going to assess him on what he's doing now here in office. So I'm not really factoring what he did in the past. I don't really particularly like the guy, but we're just going to comment on the things that he does, and I'm going to try to leave my personal opinions out of it. What's the title of the video?
I want to address this. Leave the message.
Yeah,
there
you go
for a
ahead.
second,
You go
because
ahead.
it basically, the title of the video is Canada's ready to negotiate with USA. I don't know how this is.
Yeah, it's pretty generic. I don't know how that's defending anything.
But at the same time, Trump is a scam artist, and the title of your video is defending the pervert. Wow, man, that's impressive. For me to lack words to respond to this is impressive, because I gotta say that you're reaching something fierce. I do not see. You know what? You're allowed to not like Trump. I get it. A lot of people don't, so I fully get it. But to say he's a scam artist, that's okay. Sure, you know what? That's up to interpretation. That's fine.
Yeah.
Again, you have an opinion, and I'll respect your opinion. But to say the title of I can't control if Trump is a scam artist or not, so I'm not going to defend it. But the title of your video is defending the pervert. It's my title of the video, and in no way, shape, or form am I defending anybody. I'm literally saying Canada is ready to negotiate with the USA. So if you believe that this is somehow defending a pervert, maybe check the mirror, bro, because I think you have a massive bias, unless like, you know what? How about you because before I say anything else, which pervert are we talking about? Are you referring to Trump being a pervert, or are
I
you
assume
referring
so.
to Carney B being
B.
a pervert? So which one are you? Because right now he just posted. Oh no, it's Nicole that posted that. So MAGA's pretending these tariffs are a pro-business move. While they are. You can, I think this is the biggest mistake that I see from especially Canadians, is to look at those tariffs from a Canadian's perspective. It's not about
Yeah.
Canada, bro. It's about the US. I spend half of my time in the US, and if you take the average American that feels that they got cheated over the past years, over the past 20, 30, 40 years, and they finally see something that's been identified. Both the Democrat and the Republicans have been talking about this for. Nancy Pelosi was talking about this in the 90s, and you don't get more Democrat than Nancy Pelosi. And they identified that. Obama identified that as a problem. Nobody did anything about it. So to say that it's a MAGA thing, it has nothing to do with MAGA. It is just something that it's supposed to be good for the US. That's bipartisan right there. It has, so you can remove the MAGA, but you need to remove yourself from the situation as a Canadian and try to see it from an American perspective, because it's not about Canada. It's not about the rest of the world. It's about America. Trump does not give a fuck about you, and he don't give a fuck about Canada. That's not his main priority right now. So try to see it from their perspective, not your perspective and what the CBC is telling you. Because you need to detach yourself from that.
I'm not going to, I think an argument can be made that Trump has been scammy in the past with some of his, his courses and his products. And so I'll leave that one alone. But this, this is actually, we talked about this yesterday. The tariffs are actually, not only are they an attempt at a pro-business move, they're actually a quite left-wing leftist policy. Because what he's trying to do is, whether it works or not, I don't know. But what he's stating he's trying to do is bring back manufacturing middle-class jobs that were offshore to China. And that is hurting the 1%. That is hurting big business. So you may not like Trump, but like the policy, if this is absolutely, Obama could have done this exact policy and he would be praised. This is a fundamentally pro-middle class, working class move, and it comes at the expense of owners of capital and CEOs and large corporations. So, maybe it might not work as a pro-business move, but the intention is as a pro-business move. It's it's actually a very anti-Republican policy, really. The only reason some Republicans are supporting it is because it's Trump. And the only reason many progressives and liberals are opposing it is because it's Trump. But if you strip away who's doing it, Obama could have absolutely done this move, and he would have been praised for it. This is an attempt at getting back a lot of the middle-class, working-class jobs that were hollowed out of China, or hollowed out to China over the last 30, 40 years. So if it works, we don't know. We'll remains to be seen. But yeah, I definitely don't agree that this is a MAGA anti-business move.
Well said. I'm so happy that we can see it from two different perspectives, because at the end of the day, I'm somewhere in the middle, right? So I don't tend to try to associate Republican and Democratic views, but you're absolutely right when you explained it this way yesterday, saying that it is a more progressive move. It's a leftist.
It's a leftist.
Because until you said it, I never really considered it, because I don't consider Trump to be a Republican. He sits.
Not really, no.
He's a Democrat. He would have ran as a Democrat if they accepted him as a Democrat, but they won't. So he's like, I'm gonna go right, but he's not a real Democrat. He's not a real Republican. Sorry, but good point. I like the way you explained it, because this is something that Obama should have done. He would have been the perfect guy to do it. Good speaker. He would have been able to explain it afterwards. Again, as much as I dislike him as a president, that would have been the perfect move for him. And just like I was posting this morning, he would have been praised as a fucking god if he had the balls to do that. So,
he would have. Yeah. I mean,
well put.
And yeah, anytime you have a policy that's designed, or at least intended to help, the working class at the expense of the business class, you can't really call that a right wing or conservative policy. That's that's a pure leftist, liberal, progressive policy.
I don't know how many of his comments you want to take, because he seems to be going. Jay Edwards seems to be going on a rampage.
Well,
right
when
now.
you say gutting retirement plans, what you're talking about is stock market losses. Yes, stock market losses does hurt the corporate class. We're talking about jobs, millions of middle class jobs that have left to go to China that they're trying to get back. That absolutely will help the middle class. If some people lose their retirements because the stock market has gone down, then that is unfortunate, but that's not really the point. The point was not to crash the stock market. That is just a side benefit of something that had to happen, because it's the corporations that took advantage of this offshoring of jobs, right? They're the ones that made trillions of dollars off the backs of now out of work middle class and working class Americans. So of course the corporations are the ones who are going to be hurt in the attempt to try to rectify this problem. Of course, that is collateral damage, but it's a bit, it's a bit rich to make the argument that this is like a move that attacks the middle class because the stock market goes down. Yes, some middle class people have stocks in their retirement, but broadly speaking, it is not the middle and working class that is holding stocks. It is the 1%. It is the
but in their 401k they are, though.
For sure.
In the US, it's very, but in the US, it's a bit different, and I think that's what he's talking about. So I just want to address two things before. I'm sorry, I'll chill with my comment. That's not what I'm saying, bro. I'm not saying you should. It's just we're going to be limited in the amount of comments that we can take. If you're just going one after the other, it's hard for us to keep track. But basically, what I'd like to say about, do you want to put his comment back on? Because the gutting retirement plans for hardworking American is helping the middle class. Bro, I was looking at this just this morning. Don't pay attention to what the news is telling you on both the left and the right. Just go on Google and look at the NASDAQ, look at the SP 500, look at the Dow. And this morning, when I looked prior to this podcast, we were up from a year ago. So even under Biden, that the Democrats like to praise as we had the best economy in the world under Biden, we're up. All of the indexes right now, at least last time I checked a couple of hours ago, we're up from a year ago. So that thing that what Trump is doing right now is dismantling the middle class or their retirement fund is actually incorrect. If you look at it, it is higher than it was a year ago. So you can't say that he's dismantling anything. Like, they exaggerated on Monday, trying to make us believe that we were looking at another Black Monday, which was 22% on one day. It didn't happen. It was actually higher by 1% by the end of the day. So everything the media is telling you right now, and that goes from the left and the right, are just trying to make it sound like it's better or a lot worse than it is. Because just look at the numbers. We're not down right now from a year ago. And anything, when you look at the market, you can never look at it on a short-term base unless you're a day trader, which I'm not, but I've invested a lot of money over the years. And guess what? If you're playing the long game, you're talking about 10, 20 years, unless you're looking at retirement in the next couple of years. If that's your case, if you're looking to retire in a year or two, you shouldn't be playing the market the way I would be with 20 years left before I retire. That's the thing. You need to be careful the way you invest, but that's not on Trump, because at the end of the day, 1 year ago, we're up from a year ago. So you have made 1 or 2% return from 1 year ago. So he didn't crash the market, bro. That's the lies they're trying to tell you. But if you look at the numbers, he didn't crash it. And I guarantee, no, I can't say that. I'm going to correct myself. I invite you to check again in 6 months, see where you're at, because as Patrick Bet-David, as a video we showed this week, Patrick Bet-David did mention that 9 out of the 10 last big problematic, like COVID, like the 2008 market crash, within 6 months to a year and a half, the market did not only recover, but were higher than they were prior to their crash. It's all about the long game. You're not playing a short. If you're investing in stocks for short-term reward, you're playing for fucking fire. I hope you have 20 screens installed in your house, and you're literally looking at all the indexes real time, because you need to be a day trader to do that.
Well, yeah, and I also think like the market is kind of collateral damage. The market is going to be hurt, but like it isn't really about the market, as I understand it. It's about trying to get manufacturing capacity, good paying middle class jobs back into America, and of course that's going to hurt companies' profit margins and bottom lines because they can no longer make shit super cheap anymore. Now they're going to have to pay a fair wage. They're going to have to hire Americans. They're going to have to do all these things and bring their production back if they don't want to pay tariffs. And of course, that's going to be bad for profits. Of course, that's going to be bad for the bottom line. And of course, that will be reflected in the stock market. But on the other hand, that means that a whole lot, again, if it works, that means that there will be millions of Americans who now have decent middle class jobs that that existed until the 70s, then got completely obliterated when they got offshore over to China. And of course, you won't be able to bring them all back. If you get even 20 or 30%, that's still millions of jobs.
I want to see. So here's another one. This to me, bro. Clearly,
this is the kind of thing all politicians say. Like all politicians.
No, but hold on. If you look at the rest of his comments, that I'm starting to see that he wants to troll us. So, but I will take the time to answer this one, not because it's you, just because I think this is something that a lot of people on the left believe. But day one, Trump promised cheap groceries and a strong economy. Now he's moving the goalposts. Did he tell you that the economy would be better within the first day? Like, you can't expect somebody to be able to fix the economy, to fix the inflation that the Biden and Kamala Harris administration put over 4 years in 11 weeks. Like, I know that it sounds like we've been talking about Trump almost every fucking day for the past 2.5 months. It seems like we've been talking about this for 2 years now. But the point of the matter is that he hasn't even been in power for 100 days. So like the guy, dislike the guy, you cannot expect him to be able to fix the economy within the span of 3 weeks or 11 weeks or 12 weeks when it took years to destroy. But you have to think about what he's doing right now. If he was able to get more than 70 countries to sit down at a table to want to negotiate better tariffs or to remove those tariffs, because most Americans, and Jason yesterday proved this to us, most Americans did not realize that American goods across the world had between 5 to 10% tariffs on their goods on average. So other countries have been putting tariffs on the States for years, and Trump is trying to fix that. And he's trying to fix that by putting reciprocal tariffs on other people. Agree with the method or not, only time will say. But the point in the matter is that, like Rob said, this is a progressive idea that Obama should have put in place, and he would have been praised for doing it. But imagine that, obviously, he didn't. Trump's doing it right now. Even by doing this, he didn't even fucking crash the market. We're still up from a year ago, while him being able to negotiate, to have more than 70 countries ready to negotiate with him. Even fucking Canada, after pumping his chest for the past 2 months, is now ready to negotiate with the US. Why? Because Trump put tariffs on them, scared the shit out of us, and then said, you know what, I'm going to pause it for 90 days. All he wanted is to negotiate. And all of that, he didn't even crash the market. This is the thing. You can be mad at what he's doing all you want, but he didn't really affect the market at all. Yet, he's getting between 70 to 75 countries ready to talk to him. Tell me that's not a flex. You know what? Let me ask you this, J. Edward. If Obama would have done that, if Obama was able to get 75 countries to be ready to negotiate new tariffs with the US without crashing the market, would you be praising him right now or not? Because that's the question, right? Hate or love Trump. Are you hating him because you think he's an asshole? Or do you hate him because of what he's doing is wrong, and you would have hated him the same if it was Obama or Biden doing it? Because that's the real question at the end of the day. That's the question.
And just this final comment, and then we'll move on here.
Oh, that's
fine.
Sort
of like PBD. Okay, guys. And I just wanted to talk about this because, you're doing that thing that the left does a lot, where just because you don't agree with someone's politics, you automatically dismiss everything that they say. So again, when we started doing the show, I sort of had a strategy where I'm just going to assess everyone's words on their own merits. I don't really give a shit who said it. If someone says something worth listening to, then it doesn't matter who it came from, right? It's a simple mind that can't listen to a word because they don't like the person saying it. And the point that Nico was talking about, all we were referring to was a video that he made that just said, listen, don't sell into the panic selling. That's it. I don't care who said that. That was just good advice. You know, so
and you're talking about a poor guy that came to the US, poor as shit, that is now worth millions and millions of dollars. So at one point, as much as you might not like the guy, he still tested his theory and he seemed to be right in that video. And I'm sorry to cut you off, Rob, but that video was right from 4 days ago. So it's hard, like him or not. I'm not a biggest fan of Patrick Bet-David personally. I don't really like the guy.
I don't really know him that well.
Somebody's AOC, I fucking praised AOC 2 months ago when she was saying that the Democrat Party needs to be checked for their insider trader. And today I was making fun of her because she's full of shit as usual. But I still praised her 2 months ago for saying something that was common sense. So you need to be able to do that. You need to be able to look at somebody you don't like and just say, you know what? When somebody's right, they're right. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. It's a big thing on the left where, you know, it's this cancel culture, this where we create an echo chamber for ourselves. We refuse to listen to anyone who we deem fails our purity test, and it's a sort of childlike, simplistic way to view the world. And all it leads to is we create an echo chamber for ourselves where, you know, we get our asses kicked in an election like the left lost badly in November, and they're shocked. The left is shocked that, oh my God, because the left has lost any sense of like reality with where society actually is. They could not, they were so blinded by their personal views about Trump, they couldn't see how unlikable, how terrible a candidate Kamala really was. And you know, and then Trump won in a landslide. So obviously, you know, you may not like the guy, but like, you know, it's like that that Principal Skinner meme, the Simpsons one, where he's like, you know, is it me that's am I wrong, or is it all of the kids? It's like, no, it's all the kids who are wrong. You know, like if you're in the minority, like the majority voted for Trump, like at some point you have to say, maybe I'm missing something, right? Maybe like, you could just say, oh, you know, 60% of the country is just racist idiots, if that's where you want to go. But I don't think that's, you know, you're just kind of sticking your head in the sand there. That's not what's actually going on. So I think, you know, I think a lot of people on the left, and I'm on the left, just really needs to start expanding your the voices that you're willing to listen to. You can listen to someone's words without accepting it. You don't have to just believe everything someone says, but you know, you do need to be able to listen to other people. How can, even if it's only to formulate an argument against them, how can you formulate an argument against someone if you don't know what they're arguing? So yeah, I think and you know, you see a lot of that on the left, and I just wanted to sort of respond to that.
Clap, because I don't want to copy Jon Stewart. I don't want to say this, but
snaps.
I'm snapping for you right now.
Just snapping. All right, what do we got? We're almost.
You want to take Nicole? You want to take Nicole's post comment there?
Yeah, but all that said, Jay Edward, it's nice to have you here. You know, it's always nice to see new voices, new commentators. And you know, we are always, you know, we're always welcome people from the whole spectrum, and it's nice to get some more lefties, to be honest.
And hopefully you do like Joe Stradamus, which is a guy that shows up all the time.
Yeah,
the first time he came in, he passed a comment, I ripped into him, and then he came back afterwards, and we've been having great conversations ever since. So I like it, man. I like, because you can rip into me if I'm wrong. I'll go back home and I'll reassess what happened. I'm like, fuck, maybe he was right. So.
maybe he was right about that.
Fuck, maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, Nicole says Trudeau wanted Kamala to win and not Trump.
Yeah.
That is the reason why Trump putting tariffs on Canada, because of the Ben Carney Trudeau liberals are causing shit for us Canadians. Yeah, I think, I mean, Trump's that kind of petty, you know what I mean? Like, he would absolutely slap tariffs on the entire country just because he personally dislikes Trudeau. So I believe that's I think that's probably likely. He's very.
I don't know that it's true, but if it came out to be true,
it wouldn't surprise me.
I would laugh my ass off, because I can clearly see Trump being that pity. 100%.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I
Yeah,
could,
yeah.
oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And this is definitely not equality.
Yeah. Nicole says common sense conservative. Probably talking about you. Maybe.
Well, I like that you put the C in a small letter C, because that I will agree that I am a common sense conservative, but I'm not a common sense capital C conservative. Somebody said that the other day between the capital C and the regular C, and I'm like, I really like it. I'm a classical conservative. I do not represent the conservative party, but I am conservative in my values. Small C.
Yeah, no, and that's good versus the conservative party, which is obviously big C. So I think that's probably, and we're right on the dot, and might want to
wow.
Wow, just stuck the landing.
What?
You got anything else you want to add, or?
No, just thank you for everybody that was here today. Even you, Jay Edwards. I always love people challenging me, as long as it's done respectfully.
Yeah,
I absolutely love it. And even if it's not, I get hated on every single day of my life. Not a big deal. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Thanks for our regulars. Thanks for Nicole. Hopefully, Nicole, you show up again, because I don't think I've ever seen you before.
I think we've had three new faces today, 3 new commentators. And yeah, Jed, we're like, you certainly don't have to agree with everything, but I think you'll find that we're pretty open-minded. We got our opinions, of course, but we do, we also are aware that we can be wrong. So, this is a good faith discussion that we all have here. No one's trying to just, ram home partisan points. You're not always going to agree with you, but if you can make an argument, then you got a place here. And I think, again, thank you to all the regulars. We had a ton of engagement today. Again, guys, we couldn't do the show without you. There's a reason we do it live is specifically for this kind of engagement. So we hope that you guys keep coming back, keep helping build this show, build this community. And as always, you could have been anywhere in the world today, but you chose to be here with us, and we're always going to appreciate that. Nico, you got anything you want to add to that?
You need to stop asking me, bro. Like, I'm really giving you the end. I love.
All right, I'll just take the end then.
You kind of fucked it up, because I was looking in your dreamy eyes. I'm like, they're so they're so nice. And then you asked me a question. I'm like, oh man, you really my half C's is gone now.
All right. Half chub. Got the weirdest boner right now. But yeah, okay. All right, that's cool. I'll just take it from that. I'll take the you get the beginning, the intro, I'll take the end. Works well.
Yeah.
Prairie, have a great day. Everyone have a great day, and we will catch you tomorrow.
Peace out.